Hello, and welcome back to another episode of my podcast. Some things to address from the get-go. Some people have been asking me, they're looking at me right now and they're like, hey, what are you up to? What are you doing? No, I'm not starting an OnlyFans, so sorry about that. Also, I have decided to clip my microphone today. No real reason, this is all just a coinky dink, to be honest. I decided to try reclipping my mic for a bit, also because I don't have anything fun to attach it to. And, Adam Monroe would really hate it. Really hate it if I kept holding my microphone. Because apparently that's really annoying and really stupid. And people do not like the holding of the microphone. Even though, in my opinion, I think it's better. We're going to try this again. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to assess, is it any better? I don't know. But we'll see, I guess. So I guess let me know at the end of the episode if you think, or at any point, let me know if you think the clipping helps or if it's just doesn't really fucking matter. Yeah, so it was 40 degrees yesterday, Celsius. Hold on, let me do oh my god, I can totally do Fahrenheit to Celsius. And I will do the conversion for you because I too hate having to do it. 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was 104 yesterday. Damn, 104. Yeah, I feel like I hear people saying like 100 degrees. What's 100 degrees like? Ooh, it's like 38. 38, yeah, it's like 38 degrees for us. Yeah, it was only meant to get to like 36, I think, and then halfway through the day I checked and my weather updated and said 40, and I was like, 40? 40? It's not meant to get to 40? It has gotten to the point where if I see the weather predict, hey, it's gonna be like 37, okay. I'm just gonna assume it's gonna get to 40. It's gotten to that point. And I gotta say, I kind of feel like they're like underselling it. I don't know. Let's see, what's the weather? Today it's gonna get to 40 as well, I think. It says 38, yep, it's gonna get to 40. It's as easy as that. If it's like 37, 38, it'll be 40. Now, I do remember when I was a kid, there would be times when it would get to 38 and 35. It was quite often that summer would have school days be like 30 degrees. 37, 38, yeah, I mean, that sounds right. But 40, it's scary how common 40 degrees is starting to become. It really is. It's definitely something I've noticed. Yeah, it's like it's becoming a normal thing. And, if that doesn't tell you what you think about climate change, then I don't really know what to tell you because it's getting really bad. And I think in places you don't normally hear people or hear from people like, like Morocco, places like India, I feel like we don't really hear much from people who live there when it comes like the weather. But even in those places, the weather is definitely, it's getting worse. Yeah. It's getting more extreme. And interestingly, we had a 40-degree day yesterday, and then sometime during the night, we had this insane storm where the thunder and lightning was just extreme. Like, I don't know how to put it into words. How crazy this storm was. And it's resulted in a lot of flooding in Queensland and various places along Victoria as well. So it's pretty crazy to have a really hot day followed by a really crazy storm. I think we did have some fires, but I haven't really been hearing too much about them, if I'm being honest. I think there's been so much going on in the world that we're not really hearing much about our own country. Sorry, excuse me. Let's look up Australia bushfires. Just in case. I mean, a lot of people are probably like, yeah, it's Australia. They're just having bushfires. Yada yada. Oh, those Australians. Allows you interactively browse. Okay. The hotspot is updated and just. Oh. The color of the icon does not. Okay, sorry, I'm looking at the satellite. Okay. Right. Ooh. So I'm looking at a map right now. I wish I could visualize this for you, but I'm just trying to visualize it for myself. Oh, okay, so the Grampians are still, like, pretty badly on fire at the moment, it would seem. The Grampians like a national park. I don't know much about it, but, I think during December, oh, no, it wasn't December. I think it was, quite a few months ago, actually. My friends all went camping in the Grampians. Yeah, and now all that place where they went camping is just burnt now. So that's really, yeah, it's really sad. It seems like there's a lot of fires around the border area between South Australia and Victoria, which would make sense because, my in-laws were saying that they could smell the smoke and the clouds and stuff. The smoke clouds were in South Australia. Because I guess the wind went that way. But nothing like really. Yeah, everything's pretty rural. Jeez. Okay, well, yeah, so we're dealing with some weather events, you know? We really are. All over Australia there's fires occurring. But yeah, there's a pretty big one in the Northern Territory as well. Jesus Christ, where is that? Lake Mackay. Alright, there's quite a few fires near Lake Mackay and stuff. Okay, well, that's what's happening here in Australia, so if you were curious, that's what we got going on. Okay? Yeah. And in other news, we have heard that Elon Musk and co, President Elon Musk, they want to ban, or at least remove, hormonal birth control, I was going to say. Yeah, they want to get rid of hormonal birth control. Elon cites that he wants to do it because birth control makes women fat. Fat equals bad. Fat woman bad. Fat woman unattractive, fat woman bad. Me, Elon Musk, no likey fat woman. Which, factually not correct at all. Hormonal birth control does not make you fat. Yeah, let's just get that clear. In fact, you know, let's look it up. Does hormonal birth... I'm going to double check for myself. Does hormonal birth control make you fat? You know what else makes you fat? Pregnancy. That makes you fucking fat. Oh, we got the BBC, Planned Parenthood. Oh, Healthline. I love Healthline. I like them. So, as I said in my other birth control video... Oh shit, I haven't been doing timestamps. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, let's just say from like 03 Australian bushfires and weather. Okay. I should say 10 minutes in we got Elon wants to ban birth control. Actually, let's put it at 9 minutes because I did start talking about it at 9 minutes. Okay. Alright, awesome. Yeah, so as I said in my other video about birth control, which I have, does it make you become a fatty McFat? We love the fats. I'm just saying, from their point of view, they're alleging it makes you a fatty fat. No, it doesn't make you a fatty fat. Not particularly, anyway. I think some people might be more sensitive to the cravings that will come with it. I think it does increase, like, cravings for things. And, you know, it's like, that happens. And, you know, you have to be mindful of your cravings even off birth control, because everyone knows you want a little bit of chocolate when you get in your period. You know, there's a reason it's, like, such a cliche, right? But who doesn't love chocolate? I guess people who are unfortunately allergic. But yeah, a lot of women actually do have this fear of the birth control making them, I don't know, their body's just changing crazily. And that's like it's a totally valid concern in my opinion. I think that, you know, if you're one way and you're scared that medicinal intervention will make things become uncontrollable, I think that's a thing that's very worrying, is that your medication is going to make you a certain type of way that, and you have no control over that. I think that's a very fair concern, right? So, it depends. Most types of birth control don't affect your weight, but there are some methods that may cause weight gain in some people. Alright, there's been a lot of research on common birth control side effects, and studies show that the pill, the ring, the patch, the IUD don't make you weight gain or lose weight. And, you know, some women's anecdotal experiences have been that they did lose weight on birth control. There are two methods of birth control that cause weight gain in some people who use them. The birth control shot, so that's like a shot you get monthly. I don't know if they actually recommend using it anymore in Australia, because I think there's been some pretty scary side effects about brain tumors. I think. I do not quote me on that because I'm not entirely sure, but that is look into that one, you know. The birth control implant, which is what I have, so I have the birth control implant. Haven't noticed any weight gain. I've been on it since, like, what did I say, 2019 or something? Yeah, I think 2019. It's 2025. So it's been a few years. I'm sorry, I don't do maths. 6 years? I think that checks. Right. But this doesn't happen to everybody who uses these types of birth controls. Whatever. Many people use the shot or the implant without gaining weight. Everybody's body is different, so birth control affects everyone a little differently, but birth control shouldn't cause problems in your everyday life. It's there to help you. So if you have birth control and weight gain and it bothers you, or if you notice any other side effects you don't like, talk with a nurse or a doctor. And this is a very key thing that people, I find, do not do, is they do not heed this suggestion. If you're having a problem with your method of birth control, there are options, and you're not going to know what they are, and you're not going to be able to possibly rectify these issues you're having if you don't try and, you know, ask someone. But I know it can be hard to advocate for yourself and, you know, see a doctor. A lot of the time they can be a little bit dismissive, but you just have to do your research, know what to ask, and try your best to use like very specific language when you're talking about these things. But I think a lot of, like, especially like, I don't want to make a generalization. I'm just going to say, at least give it a shot. It's worth giving it a shot, right? Instead of being on something and being miserable. Right. So a nurse or a doctor or whatever the fuck, they might be able to help you find another type of birth control that helps. Many people try a few different methods before finding one that works for them. I got pretty lucky. I enjoy the one that I have. despite having like a really shitty removal process, I think, yeah, I'm happy with what I've got. And when it comes to weight gain, it's like, it's really not even a thing that I think about, because before I initially got it put in, I know I'm reiterating stuff here, before I got it put in, I asked my doctor that question specifically. I specifically said, and I went, "Doctor, is this going to make me gain weight?" And my doctor was like, well, actually, no. It's going to increase your weight maybe like 0.5 kilograms. 500 grams, right? I think that's the measurement. What the fuck are you doing? Stop it. Hold on. It's like trying to get out of here, Canada. She's like stealing the show. Okay. Ew, get out of here. So yeah, it's like, it really, realistically isn't doing what a lot of people think it is. And I feel like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna call out a lot of women here, but I feel like you guys put a lot of blame on the birth control, being like, oh, the birth control made me gain weight like crazy. But I feel like you guys aren't owning up, a lot of you, to the fact that you're just not making the right food choices. Does that make me a bitch for saying that? I mean, shit, if that makes me a bitch, then I guess I'll be the bitch that tells you that. Yeah. Because it's not like, oh my god, it's not like the birth control just woo and just like spawns in all these extra like weight on you. It doesn't just spawn weight on you. Is it going to make you crave things more? Maybe, potentially. Your body is going to be very different, reacting to it differently than how I react to it. My god. And so I just think that this whole idea of banning hormonal birth control because you're afraid it's going to make women gain weight, that's not the right way of going about things, obviously. Like, I'm preaching to the choir, probably, but I'm just saying that there's this... It's just factually incorrect. It really is. My god. But, yeah, so they want to get rid of birth control, and that is... I know this is controversial to say, but that is kind of a part of Project 2025, is it not? So... And I don't know, y'all kept saying Project 2025 isn't real. But, I mean, with the deportations we're seeing, now we're seeing the restrictions on abortion, restrictions on birth control. And it's also one of those things where it's just so rich that like a dude, a rich billionaire dude, is saying, you shouldn't be on birth control because it's going to make you depressed as well. Again, like, if you're struggling mentally while on birth control, there are solutions. There are solutions. You know what else causes depression? Having fucking like 10 children that you didn't fucking want. That also causes depression. You know what also causes depression? Literally giving birth. Have you ever heard of postpartum depression? Affects men too. So, girl, I don't know. It's all bullshit. But no one's surprised about that. I don't think anyone is really surprised about that at all. Because we kind of saw this coming. Yeah. And I know there's like the Project 2025 is not real. And we've been saying, we'll see. We'll see. Because if it's not real, fantastic. If it's not real, fantastic. I would love for it to not be real. I mean, I don't even live in America, but, you know, what America does, Australia wants to follow suit, I guess. Yay. Everyone's posting memes about the weather yesterday in Australia. It's good. Man, it was fucking crazy. And it came at the worst time too. It was like, oh my god. Anyway. What else do we have going on in the news today? It's interesting. Oh god, Twitter is a rat hole. It really is. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. Ukraine. Ukraine is saying North Korea may have pulled out of the front line. As you might know, North Korea was bringing military aid to Russia. Why? I guess because they're mates. They have the same. Do they have the same goal? I mean, maybe North Korea just wants brownie points. I don't know. And then did you hear the story about how North Korean soldiers were able to get access to like porn or something, and they were like, oh, they're like totally gooning the fuck out. Jesus Christ. Ukrainian special forces fighting in Russia's western Kursk region have told the BBC that they have not seen any North Korean troops for the past 3 weeks. Yeah, so they're thinking they pulled out after heavy losses. 11,000 troops sent from North Korea to fight for Russia. 1,000 of them had been killed in just 3 months. My god, it's... Like, I don't like North Korea. I don't like Russia, obviously. 1,000 deaths. It's like... We just read these numbers off of a web page, and we don't really put to mind, like, the scale of what a loss of, like, human life that is. And it's like... It's devastating. It's just devastating to me in the fact that, like, just human lives being lost. And I just think it's so wrong that, you know, a lot of these people don't really have choices in the matter. They're just fighting because they have to. They have to. They've been brought up in a society that's, like, total indoctrination. I hate this water bottle. I love Pusheen. I hate this water bottle. But I spent a lot of money on it, so I'm... Alright. Pardon? Okay, yep, so... Let's see, on Friday the Ukrainian... Okay, this Ukrainian spokesman told the BBC they're only referring to the areas in the Kursk region where they were fighting, so... It's possible that maybe they're focusing North Korean troops somewhere else. We don't fully know at this point in time, it would see. New York Times is also... I'm reading this from the BBC, by the way. So the New York Times has also reported that they think North Koreans have been pulled off the front lines. The newspaper quoted US officials saying withdrawal may not have been a permanent one, and they might return after additional training or after Russians come up with new tactics. Yeah, I mean, like, that's a possibility too. Pyongyang's assistance to Moscow now also extends to large amounts of ammunition and weapons. Oh, you know what? I had some other stuff to talk about. A lot's been going on in the online space at the moment. The online space. Why do I say it like that? Yeah. So I've been very fired up about a particular subject, and I was doing so much research yesterday, and there's a particular video and subject I really want to talk about. However, I'm against my urges. I really wanted to do it today, but I told myself, no, I don't know enough of the facts yet. I don't know enough of, like, history. I'm trying to go headfirst into some extra research, and there's just this subject I really want to touch on that I think is going to be a really interesting educational moment for everyone. I mean, it's going to be a really niche subject that I think is really interesting, and it's going to tie into a bigger topic that I really, really want to get into, but I'm not going to get into it right now. So, a little bit of a teaser for you. So, I'm thinking next week is going to be a scripted video where I'm going to be actually talking about a deep dive topic that is political. It's extremely political. It's a very contentious topic as well. There's been a lot of back and forth about certain claims made by certain countries, and it ties in with some pretty big political talking figures on social media. And it's going to be extremely controversial. And I'm just going to say, guys, if the video that I end up making gets traction with that person's community, it's going to be probably a lot of fallout. That being said, there's always the possibility that like no one will watch it, so it's like, are we gonna do an XQC again? It's like, maybe. Shit, maybe. But it's one of those things where it's a topic that I've become very passionate about. It's something I've always been kind of passionate about in a strange way, but now that I'm actually doing research on it, there have been some pretty crazy injustices that are being committed, and there are certain people in the streaming space that I once trusted their opinions, and after learning about this place, God, I'm really being obtuse about all this at this point. I'm just saying, after learning about like the facts of these political situations, I am trying to be ready to call out this individual for their unfactual assessment of the situation. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Because I think it's really important that we do our research. We do research about things that are uncomfortable to talk about. It's important that we get our information from multiple sources. That's why I don't just look at, the Australian newspaper. Never read a fucking Australian newspaper. They're all Rupert Murdoch shills. But it's why we gather info from many different sources. Yeah, even the ones that are blatantly creating propaganda. We still read them. We still read them and we go, okay, what are you saying here? Alright. Bet, mate. Wow, that was cringe. Anyway, so I just thought I would say that, tease out a little bit. Next week's episode should be pretty informative. And if you like the more scripted things, then it might be right up your alley. If you're not a fan of them and you like these weird ranty videos for some reason, then damn. Best of both worlds, I guess. It kind of feels nice, though, doing a little bit of a looser episode today, because, sometimes the more researched episodes can be very, very stressful. Alright, so, again, with the Ukraine stuff, yeah, we're not, okay, that's kind of all I had to say about that. Okay, moving on. Oh, shit, okay, let's talk more about the Australian, floods, hey? Because I don't talk about my little country much. I don't talk about my little piece of the world. This is once again the BBC. Wow, this is actually sad, so yeah, talk normally now. A woman has died in Australia and thousands have been forced to flee their homes after torrential rainfall caused flooding in northern Queensland. Authorities say waters will continue to rise and have warned of a dangerous and life-threatening situation. More than 1,000 millimeters, 39 inches, of rain has fallen on parts of northeast Queensland since Friday, with record rainfalls set to continue into Monday. According to Queensland State Premier David Crisafulli, meteorologists say these could be the worst floods in the region in more than 60 years. Yeah. Yeah, it's not just the intensity, but it's the longevity of it all. The woman who died was on board a state emergency service dinghy, which hit a tree and capsized in the town of Ingham in northwest Queensland. Wow. Oh my god. It is understood she was a member of the public who was being rescued at the time and was not an emergency worker. The other 5 people on board were able to get to safety. Wow. Meanwhile, 3 people were rescued from the roof of a house in Cardwell, halfway between Cairns and Townsville. Oh, God. Video has emerged of a man clinging to a pole in Ingham after his vehicle was washed away, but it was taken away safely by locals in a boat. Jeez. The Townsville Local Disaster Management Group says that 1,700 homes in the city may be inundated, some up to the 2nd floor as river levels rise. Thousands of people across 6 Townsville suburbs were told to leave their homes by midday on Sunday, but officials say about 10% of residents opted to stay. Now, I do have to reiterate that while we will in unison say, "Why did you stay?" A lot of the time, I think we had this discussion when it came to like Florida's, what was it, hurricanes. There always tends to be people who think, yeah, I'm gonna stay, and some people stay because they think that they can beat it. And I think a lot of people who do stay because they don't have much of another choice. A lot of the times, government officials will say, hey, you have to evacuate. But they don't actually, help provide resources to do that. And often, if a lot of people in a place are evacuating at the same time, you might just get caught in, a fucking gridlock someplace. That being said, I don't know much about, the Townsville region. So, I don't know, maybe there's actually a lot of roads you can take. Dunno. But, Jesus. The same areas were severely hit during 2019 flooding. Yeah, actually, interesting. My partner was actually a part of the restoration team that went there in 2019. Yeah, I think it was it was 2019, I think. Wow. Yeah, so he was actually a part of all that, and I think the area is actually very prone to being flooded. So, and I believe that when he was down there, the emergency service workers, I think he was able to talk to a bunch of them, and they were like, yeah, it's just gonna happen again. For sure. So, actually got boots on the ground investigation work over here. Totally using that right. Oh yeah, evacuation centers. Okay, let's see. Premier Crisafulli urged people to heed the warning, saying, in the end, houses and cars and furniture can all be replaced, your family can't. Yes, those things can be replaced if you have the means. But, in this economy, I don't think a lot of people have the means to replace those things. Now, that being said, of course, your couch isn't as important as your life or your family's life. That's totally true. But people are struggling, man, and I think that it's probably likely that people in Townsville don't have the insurance that they probably might want. Yeah, and then there's government assistance, which I think historically has just been really bad. So, Andrew Cox was among those who heeded the advice to leave. He told the BBC that police had visited his partner's home on Saturday, advising that they may have to evacuate, and they returned early Sunday to reiterate. Some of the neighbours said they'd been here during floods in 2019 and they'd be fine, but we didn't want to be packed up. Damn, okay. Yeah, okay. Parts of the road between Townsville and the tourist centre of Cairns have been cut off, hampering efforts to get rescue teams and sandbags to the worst-hit areas. Meanwhile, Townsville Airport is closed until Monday. Supermarkets have run out of fresh food, and thousands of homes are without power, including the Ingham and Indigenous community in Palm Island. And there is a warning for locals to watch for crocodiles lurking in floodwaters away from their usual habitats. Okay, that's a good enough reason for me to leave. If I was there, I'd be like, oh, there's crocodiles. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go. Where's the exit? Jeez. Sitting in the tropics, North Queensland is prone to destructive cyclone storms and flooding. But climate scientists say that warmer oceans and a hotter planet create the conditions for more intense and frequent extreme rainfall events. Yeah. It's a shame because I think a lot of people have gone from Sydney to Queensland because Queensland's prices are not the insanity of Sydney. But then you have this trade-off where Queensland has very volatile weather. And it has been like that for quite some time, actually. I think it's where we grow all our bananas. Or something, because it's the right climate for it. Man. So that's what we have over there. What's happening in the UK? Oh, fuck. You want to hear some sad shit about the UK? Jeez. 3719. UK ruling on AI-generated child pornography. AI-generated child sex abuse images targeted with new laws. 4 new laws will tackle the threat of child sexual abuse images generated by AI, the government has announced in the UK. The UK will be the first country in the world to make it illegal to possess, create, or distribute AI tools designed to create child sexual abuse material, CSAM, with a punishment of up to 5 years in prison. Possessing AI pedophilia manuals, which teach people how to use AI for sexual abuse. These will also be made illegal, and offenders will get up to 3 years in prison for having that. Okay? Up to? So you mean to tell me you could possess a manual on how to make CSAM with AI and you may get 1 to 3 years or something? You get up to 3 years. So you could just get a year in prison for that. What we're seeing is that AI is now putting the online child abuse on steroids. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper told the BBC's Sunday with Laura Quensberg. Cooper said AI was industrializing the scale of sexual abuse against children and said government measures may have to go further. Yeah, I feel like I'm inclined to agree with that. Other laws set to be introduced include making it an offence to run websites where pedophiles can share child sexual abuse content. That's not CSAM. Or provide advice on how to groom children. That would be punishable by up to 10 years in prison. Well, fucking I bet. I fucking hope so. Jesus Christ. Artificially generated CSAM involves images that are either partly or completely computer generated. Software can nudify real images and replace a face of one child with another, creating a realistic image. again, this is one of those reasons why you really don't want to be putting your children out there on the internet because, I mean, for God's sakes, we've had so many instances where creators are pretty blatantly making CSAM with their children. Like, and you know, people will say like, oh, how could you sexualize such like a bad thing? You know, like if they're just innocent children doing innocent things, how can you sexualize that? Those people are very naive and ignorant. And when they do stuff like that, they really only serve to aid the pedophiles in their quest for, you know, child abuse material. These weirdos try to make it seem like we're the freaks. It's so weird. It's like, how are you gonna say I'm the weirdo? You're just being like willfully ignorant at this point. Alright. In some cases, the real life voices of children are also used, meaning innocent survivors of abuse are being re-victimized. Fake images are also being used to blackmail children, force victims into further abuse. I mean, could you imagine if, like, a picture of your child got out there and someone AI generates, like, these images of that kid and then tries to blackmail the kid? And because the kid doesn't know anything about AI or how AI works, they're gonna be like, it's gonna be traumatizing, man. And it's a very real possible situation that's probably already occurring. It's just incredible to me that the UK is the first place to actually make some laws about this. How long has AI been around? How long have we been seeing this stuff? Like the articles in the news about like all the abuse material being made by AI. I mean, we even had that problem with Cutie Cinderella and I think Maya Higa, where there were websites making, you know, AI generated porn of these female streamers. And then their good friend CUwK got found fucking looking at that shit. They're still friends with him though. Yikes. I gotta say, if that happened to me and my partner was still hanging out with that guy, I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, I clearly we're different people because I don't think I could forgive that. I don't know, but I mean, everyone has a different opinion of it. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's clearly an AI generated image, but like, for how long are we gonna view it like that? I don't know. It's a very messed up situation, and it's like this guy CUwK, he was supporting the very thing that we all saw how like upset it made Cutie. You know, she had that stream where she was crying about it, and like understandable. Everyone has their feelings about it. Some people might be a bit more affected by it than others. Some people might shrug off and be like, whatever, it's AI, can't do anything about it. But yeah, anyway, that's just my opinion, I guess. The National Crime Agency, NCA, said there are about 800 arrests each month relating to threats posed to children online. It said 840,000 adults are a threat to children nationwide, both online and offline, which makes up 1.6% of the adult population. Cooper said, you have perpetrators who are using AI to help them better groom or blackmail teenagers and children, distorting images and using those to draw young people into further abuse. Just the most horrific things taking place and also becoming more sadistic. Our response cannot stand still to keep children safe. Yeah. The government should ban nudify apps and tackle the normalization of sexual activity with young-looking girls on mainstream porn sites. Huh. Really? Oh, I think they're referring to like 18 plus categories or something, or like barely legal categories, saying these videos are simulated child sexual abuse videos. Mm. Oh, these videos involve adult actors, but they look very young and are shown in children's bedrooms with toys, pigtails, braces, and other markers of childhood. Look, the thing with like braces for me is like, I get that they are like a very child thing, and I'm not gonna defend porn that involves that and say like, oh, they're not trying to do that, because let's be real, they fucking are. Like, just take Belle Delphine for example. They know what they're doing with that shit. They do. But can we have some defense for like the adults with braces? Adults with braces feel sorry. Adults with braces feel bad enough as it is, okay? We need to remember that. This material can be found with the most obvious search terms and legitimizes and normalizes child sexual abuse. I agree. I do. Same with fucking anime. Do you know how much anime normalizes? Oh my god, just watch Seven Deadly Sins. If you can watch Seven Deadly Sins and you're not at all creeped out by the little fairy girl who's like 8 billion years old but she looks like she's 5, and then she gets pregnant. Sorry, spoilers. Don't even talk to me about that. Don't even. I hate that anime with a passion, and I watched all of it. The Internet Watch Foundation warns that more sexual abuse AI images of children are being produced, with them becoming more prevalent on the open web. Obviously. The charity's latest data shows reports of AI-generated CSAM have risen by 380%, with 245 confirmed reports in 2024 compared with 51 in 2023. Each report can contain thousands of images. Yep, this is what we're destroying the environment for. Generating these images. It's like gone to a point where like, bro, pedophiles are like actually destroying the environment single-handedly. In research last year, it found that over 1 month period, 3,512 AI CSAM and exploitation images were discovered on one dark website. Compared with a month in the previous year, the number of the most severe category images, category A, had risen by 10%. Yeah. AI CSAM can often look incredibly realistic, making it difficult to tell the real from the fake. Yeah. They should also mention, like, revenge porn, because I guess, like, tying back to that cutie Cinderella stuff, generating, like, AI porn of people, that's like revenge porn. And, like, people will argue, well, it's not their real body, but it's like, yeah, but because it's getting harder and harder to distinguish if it's real or not, it really blurs the lines between, like, well, at a certain point you have to be like, you know, that's your intention, though. That's your intention. And I think it's also, like, taking someone's, like, identity very clearly. I think that should also have some legal ramifications, but unfortunately, the law doesn't link up with the progression of technology the way it should. So that's actually really, really sad. But I'm glad the UK is taking a step towards helping children out. Yeah, there's certainly more to be done to prevent AI tech from being exploited, but we welcome the announcement and believe these measures are a vital starting point. It is vital that legislation keeps up with technological advances to prevent these horrific crimes. And tech companies must make sure their platforms are safe for children. They need to take action to introduce stronger safeguards, and Ofcom must ensure that the Online Safety Act is implemented effectively and robustly. Yeah. So more to come on that later, I guess. Oh my god. Secret Christian sect coerced young mothers to give up babies. Let's not. I don't know. I don't want to be totally bummed out today. Like, Jesus Christ. Right, so did we talk about the tariffs? Oh, and good news. Sabrina Carpenter and Charlie XCX win early Grammys. I don't care. Does anyone care about award shows anymore? Like, at all? I don't know. I just think that, like, you know, you got the Grammys. I guess that's just for music. You got the fucking Golden Globes. You got the fucking Oscars. I almost forgot about the name for the Oscars. It's like, that's just like how irrelevant this shit all is to like my life. I don't care about award shows. Most of the time, it's people being rewarded for just doing like the same old shit. And it's like, oh my god, like, if Timothy Chalamet wins an award for his Bob Dylan, was it Bob Dylan? Bob Dylan movie? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I watched SNL and Timothy Chalamet was the guest, but he was also the music host. It was okay. It wasn't. I'll admit, I've only heard like one Bob Dylan song. So hearing Timothy Chalamet sing it, it was just like, I don't really know if like this is like hitting. It wasn't too bad. But it wasn't like, I don't know, world changing. But yeah, award shows are just so dumb. It's like, even, yeah, award shows are just so stupid. It's the same with like the Twitch streamer awards stuff. No one's ever really happy with who wins. Because everyone wants their favorites to win, right? You want your favorite people to be recognized for what they do. And the problem with award shows is they just can't really fairly ever do that. They really can't. And you know, there's always going to be some bias. And you always have to be like, well, these people are all in a circle together. Right? It's not hard to imagine that so many there's so much inner politics within these like streamer communities that probably affect the awards. I don't know. That's my opinion. I mean, I'm biased too. I mean, we're all biased. But that's why I'd say take award shows with a grain of salt. A little itty bitty grain of salt. So yeah, we had tariffs actually for real implemented by America. They're gonna be on China, Canada, Mexico, and I think Colombia? Dude, what the fuck? Where are we gonna get our fucking Colombia grade cocaine from now? And of course, everyone is responding with their own tariffs, and so the trade wars begin, everybody. Yep. The trade wars begin. And now Canadians are trying to boycott American goods. Yeah. And I think Donald Trump did initially say, like, oh, the problem with tariffs is the drugs. We need to get a handle of the drugs, guys. And now he's saying that it's to hurt Canada's economy. He says, we pay hundreds of billions of dollars to subsidize Canada. Why, there is no reason. We don't need anything they have. We have unlimited energy. We do. Should make our own cars and have more lumber than we ever use. Without this massive subsidy, Canada ceases to exist as a viable country. Harsh but true. Therefore, Canada should become our cherished 51st state, much lower taxes, and far better military protections for the people of Canada, and no tariffs. So he's trying to get Canada to join America? What is going on with this guy? Oh my god. Did you guys say we have 4 more years of this or some shit? Or I say we, but you know. Mm. Fuck. Alright. Yeah, well, okay. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Twitter. I'm like speechless at the moment. There is something trending that I would love to talk about right now, but just wait. Just wait. Just wait until we have more information. Okay. Ah, it's so hard trying to not be like a drama llama for like it'd be so easy to just like milk trends that are happening right now and be like, yeah, I'm an authority figure on this when that would be false. That would be, at this point in time, that would be very not like me, you know? And I don't know, it's like when we had the whole XQC debacle, I did say that I wanted to be more of like a factual Andy, I guess, or less of like a drama llama. But I think what I mean is that I don't want to just make videos being like, this person bad. I don't like this person. Is there anything wrong with that? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I would much rather criticize people for more valid takes. I'm not saying that I didn't have valid takes with the XQC stuff. I still think that well, to be fair, I haven't watched his content lately, so maybe he has changed and I'm not aware. But at the time, my position was very much like, hey, it's not okay to re-upload people's content where you're, and then positioning it as a reaction video when you're, let's be honest, you're not really reacting. Like, hey, I react to things on stream. I do. Do I do a really good job of it? I try my best, but I don't re-upload that stuff. I don't upload that stuff at all because I know I should, if I'm gonna do something like that, I should probably do like a much better job. I think the reason I like react content so much is that it's kind of like watching stuff with like a group of friends, and I like that dynamic. But also because of like my jaw, I have TMJ issues. So usually after streaming for a couple of hours where I've been talking, like even now I've been talking for like an hour and my jaw is very tight. So when I do react content, it allows me to do jaw massages and like relax it. I really think I've got to get like TMJ surgery. Let's look it up. When to get TMJ surgery. You know what's crazy is how quickly I become accustomed to timestamps. It's like when I go on videos that don't have them these days, it's crazy. I'm like, how do you not have timestamps in the year of our Lord 2025 and you don't have them? Shame on you. Mine are not the best timestamps, but at least I have them. Okay, TMJ is a hinge-like joint where your jawbone and skull meet. So it's like over there. The TMJ allows your jaw to slide up and down, letting you talk, chew, and do all sorts of things with your mouth. Oh, really? A TMJ disorder causes pain, stiffness, or lack of mobility in your TMJ, keeping you from using your jaw's full range of motion. Yeah, I have that. It's like, you probably can't hear that. It's so loud for me. Hate the clicking. Surgery can be used to treat a TMJ disorder if more conservative treatments such as oral splints and mouth guards don't help reduce the severity. Some people, surgery may be necessary to restore full use of their TMJ. I really think I might need to. I don't know. It's like living with this since like 2020 has been just hell. I think the most hellish part is getting used to like the new normal. And I just think like, how did I live my life before where I didn't have this fucking problem, where I wasn't in just like pain. It's like, it's not necessarily painful. The tightness, it's like constant. The tightness is constant, and it's like, no matter how many times I massage my jaw, no matter how many times I do things to reduce the symptoms, it's like, it only lasts for like 5 minutes, and then it's back to being shit. And then I have a night splint. I woke up this morning with even worse problems, and I find that that's quite frequently something with me, is that I wake up and I actually have a little bit of a worse disorder, and then it'll kind of stabilize a bit after a few hours. But it makes eating breakfast like, I fucking hate it. Your doctor may recommend surgery if you feel consistent intense pain or tenderness when you open or close. You can't open or close all the way. You have trouble eating or drinking because of jaw pain or immobility. Or pain or immobility gets progressively worse even with rest or other non-surgical treatments. You have specific structural problems or diseases in your jaw joint which have been confirmed radiologically with imaging such as MRI. Alright, you may be advised against surgery if your symptoms aren't that severe. For example, you may not need surgery if your jaw makes a clicking or popping sound when you open it, but there's no pain associated with it. Great. Your symptoms aren't consistent. You may have severe painful symptoms one day that vanish the next. The last time I had sorry. The last time I had painful symptoms was probably like a month ago, actually. Yeah, it was during December, and it lasted for weeks, actually. Your symptoms are okay. This may be a result of certain repetitive motions or overuse, such as talking more than usual in a given day, chewing a lot of tough food, constant gum chewing. I can't chew gum anymore. I don't chew gum anymore, which is so sad because I love gum. That cause fatigue and TMJ. In this case, they may recommend that you rest your jaw for a few hours or days. I do that. I don't do anything that's any different. I don't know. I just kind of feel like if I can't talk for like more than a couple hours in a day, that sounds bad to me. That sounds bad. If you can open and close your jaw all the way, even if you have some pain or tenderness when you open and close your mouth, you may not get recommended surgery because of the risks involved. It may instead suggest medication, physical therapy, or lifestyle change to reduce symptoms. Like, isn't that awesome? It's like, look, just stop streaming, just stop podcasting. No, but my 286 subscriber podcast needs me. No. I've done physical therapy. I'm gonna fucking cry. Oh, there's different surgeries. Okay. Arthrocentesis. Arthrocentesis is done by injecting fluid into your joint. The fluid washes out any chemical byproducts of inflammation. It can help reduce pressure that causes the joint to be stiff or painful. It's like, yeah, I can open my jaw fully, but it's like, I can't do it the way I used to be able to do it. You can go home the same day of that procedure. Damn. Recovery time's short. The success rate is high. 80% improvement in symptoms? That sounds pog. That sounds so pog. arthroscopy. Arthroscopy is done by opening a small hole or a few small holes in the skin above the joint. No tube, a cannula, is then inserted through the hole in the joint. Next, they will insert an arthroscope into the cannula. It's a light and camera and it's used to visualize your joint. Once everything is set up, your surgeon can then operate on the joint using tiny surgical tools that are inserted through the cannula. Wow, that's crazy. I was wondering how they do surgery there. So it's less invasive than typical open surgery, and recovery time is faster, several days to a week. It also allows your healthcare provider a lot of freedom to do complex procedures on the joint. Could be scar tissue removal, joint reshaping, medication injection, or pain and swelling relief. Then there's open joint surgery, which is opening incision a few inches long over the joint, so they can operate on the joint itself. This is reserved for severe TMJ disorder, which I don't think I have, to be honest. Involves a lot of tissue or bone growth that stops the joint from moving, fusion of the joint tissue, cartilage, or bone ankylosis, inability to reach the joint with arthroscopy. Yeah, so I don't think I have extra like bone growth or anything like that. But okay, well, I think it's nice to know that there's those other options. What are the complications? Injury of facial nerves, damage to nearby tissue such as the bottom of the skull, blood vessel, or anatomy to your hearing. Oh. Infections, yeah, okay, goes without saying. Persistent pain or limited range of motion, Frey syndrome, a rare complication where the gland near your TMJ causes abnormal face sweating. Huh, that's interesting. I wonder if I should try Botox. I know I've been thinking about it for a while. It's just Botox? It's like, what if I try Botox one time, see how it goes? If it gives me jowls, it gives me jowls. That's like these things. If I get Botox for my TMJ, these puppies are gonna go like, whoa. Apparently that's what can happen. Fuck, dude. Okay, well, on that depressing note, that's the episode for today, guys. That's my plight. Yay. Look, I'm gonna go massage my jaw. I hope you had a good time with me today on the pod. I'll be here next week, Monday. And yeah, and it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a good episode. I think it's gonna be really informative. And it'll probably be about something that you don't actually know a lot about. And so you will learn something new. Probably. Will it be a bummer? I hope not, but we have to involve ourselves in the world and politics, because if we don't, then we're kind of fucked. Yeah, I just don't understand like the whole, I'm not involved in politics. Politics are going to be involved in you. They're going to affect you no matter what, so you might as well be fucking educated about it, right? So yeah. Alright guys, I'm gonna go have a good Monday, Sunday, whatever it is. Have a good rest of your week. Let's fucking hit some goals this week. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do some drawing. I'm gonna have hopefully a good week, if the weather permits. And wish me luck that it doesn't get to like 40 today. I'm sweating already. Alright. Goodbye and take care. Alright. Bye!